Listen, Jennifer Williams, there's something I need to tell you.
So, turns out all that chatter about Christian Gold being broke and living off Jennifer Williams wasn't just gossip. It's looking real now. Ever since the court ordered Christian to pay up, he's pulled a full-on disappearing act. Gone like smoke, while Jennifer's still out here trying to defend him like nothing happened. And just like before, it's hitting her that she might have fallen for another slick-talking scam.
I feel bad for Jennifer, but I will say she is a magnet for being scammed. She just had an entire documentary about getting scammed from some other guy, and I don't know, there's just something about Jennifer that she just doesn't have street smarts like that.
You already know Evelyn Lozada isn't letting her slide on this one. If you've kept up with Basketball Wives, you probably felt a little sympathy for Jennifer at some point. The poor woman's got the worst luck when it comes to men. Every single one's been a total mess.
And then, of course, you know the situation we talked about with me and parole and still paying restitution.
Yeah.
It's an astronomical amount that I have to give to them in order to make sure I'm off. And we're talking a little under 250,000.
It's almost like she's got a magnet for trouble because each relationship turns into some kind of public disaster. Things got so wild that Jennifer even dropped a whole documentary, My True Scam Story. She made it after realizing yet another man had played her for a fool. But this latest one, Christian Gold, might actually take the cake. The wildest part? Jennifer seems perfectly fine with all of it as long as she gets to keep that wife title. When she and Christian went public and started flashing that engagement ring, he milked the spotlight for all it was worth. He started calling himself a big-time investor and multi-millionaire trader who could make money appear out of thin air. Meanwhile, he was living large on Jennifer's dime, flexing a lifestyle he didn't earn, but just enough to look legit and make people trust him with their money. What a setup. Christian couldn't stop bragging about his supposed riches. He made sure everyone knew he was that guy. And Jennifer? She hyped him up too, acting like they were this unstoppable power couple living the dream. But it didn't take long before the mask slipped and people saw what kind of game he was really playing.
I have common sense and I have discernment and I have learned from these mistakes that I've made.
After they got engaged in August 2023, everything looked picture perfect. Plans locked in for a Paris wedding on September 14th, 2024. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Wrong. Things flipped upside down real fast when Christian got sentenced to 15 days in jail for violating probation. Turns out he was also in deep trouble for not paying restitution to a victim from an old DV case. But Jennifer wasn't going anywhere. She stood firm by his side, swearing he was misunderstood, and still made sure they touched down in Paris for that wedding like nothing had happened. That's loyalty or straight-up denial. Word on the street is Jennifer even paid the restitution herself. But here's where it gets shady. When she asked him how much he owed, Christian told her it was $250,000. He acted all desperate, saying he needed her help to take care of it so they could move on. And of course, she stepped up without questioning him. But once his arrest hit the blogs and people started pulling court receipts, the truth came out. His restitution wasn't anywhere near that crazy number he'd thrown out. He'd been playing her. Again. What a plot twist. Turns out, Christian was only supposed to pay $12,500, not the wild $250,000 he told Jennifer. Both he and his lawyer even confirmed it. So why did he pull that ridiculous number out of thin air? Simple. He thought Jennifer would hand over the cash just to keep that Mrs. title next to her name.
I can tell you, I don't give a damn how many producers, executives are on this fucking live. How many times have y'all called me and I'm like, yo, I'm not filming? Because I don't do all that bullshit. All that shit is all that salacious shit that y'all want to put out on it and to chastise a black man and make me look like a villain. I never wanted to do it. But I did it because my wife is really the one with the storyline. When we're talking about her and this Evelyn, she's the one with the real storyline. So of course I'm going to show up, and I'm looking at things for the future, and I'm saying, okay, what is the next step for my wife to get off of Basketball Wives for us to go into something different? Maybe like get our own.
But instead of seeing those blinding red flags, she kept ignoring them and went through with the wedding anyway. And now, she's paying the price, big time. Fast forward to last year, and the people who dumped their savings into Christian's so-called trading business finally had enough. They sued him. They said they only trusted him because of his flashy image and the way he talked like he had all the answers. Folks cleared out their accounts thinking they were about to level up financially, but once that money hit his hands, Christian vanished like a ghost. No texts, no updates, no returns, just silence. And for the few who managed to get through to him, he played another slick move. He'd pay them back a small portion, money that wasn't even his, by the way, just to keep them calm. Then he'd convince them to let him hold the rest so it could supposedly grow into more profit.
When it comes to my marriage, it's something that I am going to defend at all costs because leave him out of it. I'm on the show, and if you have an issue with me, that's fine, but I don't understand why women always have to bring up someone's husband. You know, and especially when you ain't got one for me to talk about.
Classic scammer behavior. Straight up Ponzi playbook. Since Christian didn't even bother showing up to defend himself, the court hit him with a default judgment. The plaintiff's claim for $120,000 was officially approved as liquidated damages. That's karma catching up, loud and clear. After that court ruling, everything started crashing down around Christian and Jennifer like a bad movie scene. Once the judgment went public, more people started coming forward with their own horror stories, claiming they'd lost thousands to his so-called trading empire. Suddenly, Christian wasn't the money man anymore. He was the face of deception. And poor Jennifer was standing right next to him while the internet tore them apart. People started asking how she didn't see any of this coming. I mean, the man had red flags flashing brighter than a Vegas sign. But Jennifer kept defending him online, calling him misunderstood, and claiming people were just jealous of their relationship. Even when receipts were flooding the internet, she refused to back down. It's like she was trapped between love and straight-up embarrassment. Meanwhile, Christian was out here playing hide-and-seek with the law, dodging questions, skipping court dates, and keeping a low profile like he was plotting his next move.
So in March, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, something don't sound right. Because if he's got all this money, and I'm going to tell you, our project accounts at this time, I think they were all running, and when we totaled it up in March, it was like $1.1 million equally between all of them. So we're like, there's no way he can't pull from this and give us Yes, And I do have receipts of all of this.
Rumors started swirling that he was already in talks with new investors under a different company name. Like, how bold can one man be after all that drama? Now Jennifer's reputation is hanging by a thread while Christian's name is tied to lawsuits, unpaid debts, and broken promises. Every time someone digs deeper, more shady details pop up. It's messy, unpredictable, and getting worse by the day. And the crazy part? There's still no sign of Christian showing his face. Just more people realizing they might have been his next target. Turns out, things got even worse for Christian. He was officially found guilty under Georgia's RICO laws. The court didn't play with him either, ordering him to cough up a whopping $367,625. That's triple what he was originally sued for. Before that judgment dropped, Christian and Jennifer were out here doing interviews, bragging about how he was worth $8 million and didn't need to scam anybody. They really thought they could talk their way out of it. But then came the drama with Evelyn. When she tried to call Jennifer out for lying, Christian snapped back hard, throwing shade and claiming Jennifer was done with Basketball Wives. He swore they were leveling up, planning to leave the show behind and start their own reality series, promising it would be bigger and better than ever. Bold move for someone already knee-deep in court trouble. But after all that noise, have you heard a single word from Christian since? Not a peep. No flashy cars, no diamond chains, no cocky posts. The man went silent like he vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, Jennifer's still holding on tight, doing that my man, my man, my man routine on social media. She's even posting supposed reviews from investors hyping Christian up, acting like everyone else is just hating on their love. She's been putting on this brave face, pretending everything's all good. But deep down, people know the truth. The street's been saying it for months. Christian was never gonna stick around once the heat got too real. And now, it's looking like they were right all along. Word on the street is that Christian dipped the second he realized he'd actually have to pay that massive court-ordered amount. Insiders say he packed up and headed straight to Las Vegas, leaving Jennifer behind to deal with the chaos. And here's the wild part. Even if he hadn't run off, Christian didn't have a single dollar to give anybody anyway. The man was broke, and everyone knows Jennifer was always gonna be the one covering those bills. Especially now that they're married, the financial mess automatically lands in her lap. Maybe Jennifer would have paid it out of love or maybe just to keep up appearances. But with Christian out of the picture, she's stuck holding all the debt. It's brutal. Sure, she's got her divorce settlement from Eric Williams, plus money from selling her gyms and her hair extension line. But that kind of cash doesn't stretch forever. She might be comfortable, but she's definitely not rich enough to clean up after a scammer's mistakes. And here's the kicker. Jennifer's biggest source of income was Basketball Wives, and that show's officially done. Reports say she's never even owned property. She's been renting her home since the show first aired. Behind all the glam, there's not much of a financial cushion there. No huge portfolio to fall back on. So this $367,000 plus mess Christian dumped on her? That's the last thing she needed right now. Sources are saying Jennifer's already planning to move out of LA and leave all this drama behind. But the internet's not buying it. People are dragging her for acting clueless, saying she should have cut ties the moment she shelled out that first $12,000 for his restitution. They're calling it karma, plain and simple. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Honestly, Jennifer should have just stayed quiet instead of defending Christian so blindly when all those victims started coming forward with their stories. Now that he's ghosted her too, she's got no choice but to live with the fallout. Jennifer's not stupid. She's the type who'll overlook anything as long as the checks keep coming in and the lifestyle stays flashy. But that kind of thinking always comes with a price. And this time, it's looking real expensive. People online are saying it's downright embarrassing how hard she went for that man. She kept standing by him no matter how bad the headlines got, even when the truth was staring her in the face. That kind of loyalty? It's not love. It's self-destruction. And if she keeps ignoring the warning signs, she might end up in even deeper trouble herself. Because let's be real, once the feds step in, the whole story changes. If they start connecting dots and see that she helped him move that money around, Jennifer might have to answer for more than just bad judgment. It's messy, dramatic, and kind of heartbreaking. But what do you think? Should Jennifer have walked away sooner, or was she just trying to protect the man she loved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like, subscribe, and share if you're into the tea, and I'll catch you next time, baddies.